So the time has finally come. We've had this van for what, 2 years now, and I have not done an actual van tour. So today is like officially the start of our van life trip. My girlfriend Jacqueline and I are gonna be living in this van for the next 2 months as we travel across the country. We're in Florida currently, originally from New Jersey, and then we're gonna go all the way out to the West Coast, see awesome places like Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and California, and then we'll be back sometime in January. So before we get into the official van tour, I want to tell you guys quickly about our Patreon that we have to support the van life. Now, the Patreon support goes a long way. On YouTube, every view gets maybe a cent, but Patreon gives the viewers that really enjoy the content an opportunity to help much more beyond that. So our Patreon is set up with 3 reward tiers. The first $1 per video tier gets you early access to the videos. As soon as they get uploaded, they get shared to Patreon before they go live on YouTube. The second tier reward gets you full res background quality photos from our trip. We always get a bunch of sweet pictures along the way, and those get uploaded into a shared folder for you guys to use however you wish. That tier is $3 per video, and the final $10 tier is Jacqueline's project.
So for the $10 tier, I'm going to be uploading exclusive vlogs, like behind the scenes stuff, filmed, produced, edited by me.
So the Jacqueline vlog is gonna be just all raw behind the scenes, the stuff that doesn't make it to YouTube but is still interesting and fun. Along with those 3 tiers, we have a goal of hitting 600 followers on Patreon, and if we hit that goal, we're gonna start a weekly live stream podcast directly from the van, where we'll just catch up with you guys on Patreon, answer questions, and let you know what we're doing. So check it out, link down below. Let's roll the intro, and then we'll get into the official van tour. All right, so we're gonna start from the front of the van and move to the back. First up, this van is affectionately named the Vanmobile. I know, creative, but it is what it is. This build was kind of a relatively budget build. I bought the van for $12,500 on Craigslist. It didn't start out as rainbows and sunshine. There were a whole bunch of issues with the van, mostly electrical, but once we got all those tied up, it's been a very reliable vehicle. In addition to the initial sticker price, I never kept track, but we didn't add any more than $5,000 in all of our renovations, including the solar system that's on the roof. So beyond that, it's a 2006 Dodge Sprinter 2500 with the high top. Under the hood, a lot of people don't know, but these vans were branded between Freightliner, Mercedes, and Dodge. Now, this one is a Dodge, but all of the parts on it, including the engine, are made by Mercedes. So under the hood is a Mercedes-Benz inline 5-cylinder, 2.7 liter turbo diesel engine. It runs on diesel. It's very efficient. We get approximately 24 miles per gallon on the highway, and with our trailer, it bumps it down maybe to average of 20. One fun story is when we bought the van, things were starting to go right from the beginning, and this was one of the first hints. The original grill piece just flew off on the highway and got run over by traffic. There was no salvaging it, but we eventually got a replacement. Also, on our way down, we got hit by a freaking huge rock somewhere on the highway on 95. This rock bounced off of some guy's big ass truck from the next lane over a car and smashed our windshield. So we're hoping that doesn't get any worse. All right, so inside the cabin, there's not a whole lot to say. It's a fairly basic interior, but as that guy Doug from whatever the car review channel is would say, I want to share some of the quirks and features. One quirk is that the signals barely work, especially when it's hot and humid out. You hit them and then they buzz and turn off, and to get it going, you have to slap under the steering column like that, and then they work perfectly. I've changed the relay, I've tried a lot of things under there, but it's just a weird bug that I can't seem to fix. In addition to that, the brake sensor wear pad thing on the dash always lights up. As soon as you hit the brakes, it lights up and it stays on. I think that actually happened when I was crossing over the Grand Tetons going downhill. I was downshifted into the lowest gear, trying not to wear out the brakes, but I still think I kind of smoked the sensors. I know the brake pads are in good shape, but that light has just always been on ever since. In addition to that, you may notice the Beanie Baby mammoth on the dash. That's an inside joke from one of our early van life videos with Jacqueline, when I convinced her that mammoths still existed in Yellowstone National Park. We've got 2 phone chargers, some cup holders, and we have a little holder for our phone. It's good for watching podcasts or entertainment while we're driving those long hours. So as we move back to the living area, the features are pretty basic. We've got our countertop with our little sink. It's not a fancy electric one, just a little plunger guy. Underneath, we've got, 3-gallon in and 3-gallon out for clean water and wastewater. We only use it to clean dishes and brush our teeth if we have to. Who brushes their teeth these days? These cabinets have our clothes. It's basically a dresser. A little countertop space for, making meals. We throw out the little burner stove on there. One of the most important features in here is behind this door. As you guys may know, I'm pretty obsessed with coffee. This is a Jura espresso machine. Funny story how I acquired this. After I won the Icarus race back a couple years ago, it was kind of a congratulatory present from the guys at Team Fly Halo. It's wired directly to our solar system, which is 400 watts of solar on the roof. We have a 200 amp hour battery right back here next to our inverter, which is a 2000 watt inverter. 2000 watts because I needed that to power the espresso machine. It doesn't make the best espresso or coffee, to be honest, because most of the time it's not really getting enough juice, especially in the early mornings before the sun comes up. The best time to make the coffee is middle of the day when the sun's at its highest point, and then we get the power we need. Got some storage bins up here, got privacy curtains up front. Around the back, we have the bed, which is a nice memory foam Sealy mattress. Underneath is where we stowed our fridge. Now, as you can see, there's not much clearance to open the lid here, but it's enough. You can even get a gallon of milk or a gallon of water through there if you have to, which is probably the biggest thing I would ever put in the fridge. So up top, we have a little vent that's ran with a fan. That's good when it's hot. Or even when it's cold, we run our propane burner system, but we make sure that we have good ventilation so that we don't get carbon monoxide poisoning and die in our sleep. Under here, we have our propane canister, which actually goes to our little buddy heater up front, but we've got 6 LED lights, very low consumption, and a bunch of bins on the side of the bed. So there's a kind of funny story about our little buddy heater. One of the first nights we made it out west in the van mobile, it was like 15 degrees overnight, and we knew we weren't gonna be happy without a heater, so we had to get something. We ran to like a local REI or sports supply shop or something, and found the little buddy heater. But the problem was the only one they had in stock was camo, and I am personally not at all a fan of camo print. I would take flat black or vibrant red over camo any day, but it's the only one they had in stock and we had to buy it that night. So we got it, and it's just been something that's bothered me a little bit ever since. Now out back here, you can tell we currently have our van set up in the carrier rack situation. Normally on big trips we'll tow the little 4x6 trailer, but I actually dropped it off at my sister's place so we could maneuver around better with just the rack on for our time in Florida. The 4x6 trailer tows super easy behind the van. It doesn't affect performance that much as far as the feel of it driving. It almost disappears back there, but we do lose probably 3 to 4 miles per gallon of efficiency. Underneath, you can see we've got a ton of storage. We've got 3 paramotor wings, a kiting harness, we've got our propane over here, and then we have like 3 massive bins that just have all of our other stuff, jackets, camping supplies, anything else that we don't need every day, but it's just stored under there. You can kind of get a glimpse if you look under our floorboard of the polyiso board that we use to insulate the van. We also use that Reflectix stuff, but I really don't think we needed it. We mainly did 2 sheets of polyiso board and then just put the plywood finish on top of it. It's held up pretty good over time. It has some squeaks when you hit bumps, but nothing's fallen apart. So for 2 years on the road, I'm pretty happy with it. One final quirk and feature before we sign off is this here mud flap. From the time we got the van, it only had 1 mud flap, and I've researched buying the whole mud flap set, but I never did. I don't really know why, but it's just part of the character. It's got 1 mud flap. Look in any of the old photos of the van, you'll only see the back right mud flap. Speaking of which, If you want to follow our adventure more live, check out my Instagram at TuckerGott and Jacqueline's Instagram at ProbablyJacqueline. Jacqueline has a good post that she made recently describing all of the issues that we went through with the van when we first bought it from the sketchy Craigslist guy. So check out our Instagrams below and follow the adventure on there. Like I said, we don't have our trailer hooked up currently. We'll be picking it up on our way out of Florida, but we still have enough room in the living space to cram both the Maverick Atom 80 and the Scout Mobile in the van mobile. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this informal look at the van, our van tour, and I hope you guys will follow our adventure here on YouTube, Instagram, and if you would like to support what we're doing, head on over to Patreon and join the adventure there. Exclusive vlogs with Jacqueline, never seen before on television or anywhere else where you consume your media. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Jacqueline, do the thing. Peace out.